Let's take a look at some of those key matchups, 4 of them in particular that we're going to be following. At 158, Mark Richmond will wrestle for Wisconsin, and his opponent is going to be Chad Watkins. And if there's one thing I think that Thad Turner has to be happy with, it's been the job that Chad has done since stepping in for Tommy Togas.
He has. He was trailing, as we could recall, down at against Tennessee, and came up from the bottom and slapped a cradle on his opponent and surprised everybody, and including himself, I believe, and nailing a quick pin. He's up against an experienced wrestler, a guy that's ranked, I believe, 12th in the nation at his weight class. And you definitely have to give it to a senior Richmond at this weight class.
At 158 for Wisconsin.
At 158, a record of 17-4, Mark Richmond. For Lehigh, Chad Watkins with a record of 6-3.
At 167 for Wisconsin. Lehigh, Chad Watkins.
Going now at 158, Mark Richmond, 17-4, the winningest wrestler on the Wisconsin team, a senior and a real toughie, and he's going to oppose Chad Watkins, and Chad is 6-3. And you got to really watch Chad Watkins. He gives you the full treatment on the mat.
Richmond's ranked 12th in the country at this weight class. Sitting there with a pretty good record of 17-4, another Wisconsin wrestler out of Shorewood.
4 of the 6 victories by Watkins have been by falls this year. Give you an idea of how an aggressor Chad is. 4 of his 6 wins by falls. Wow. I tell you, he really is. You just can't underestimate him.
No.
Even though he is not the starting one. He just is. And that means a lot, Larry, when you go on the mat.
Well,
and
I can tell you this much, though. I know one thing about Richmond. He's quite a freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestler, so he's got a lot of upper body throws, moving off of all kinds of combinations, those things that Hellickson likes best of all.
Use it now, use it. Use the underhook.
So he's taller, so he can work those combinations, lateral drops, back heel trips. See, he goes up underneath the elbow. What he's looking for is a leg trip. Feels very comfortable in his range, able to elevate Chad Watkins.
11-5 lead for Wisconsin. Mark Richmond, senior from Shorewood, Wisconsin. Every wrestler on this Wisconsin team is either from Ohio or Wisconsin, with the exception of Mark Clayton.
See, they're good at this over. Again, I point out that there he's under the armpit and locked up under the chin. They do that a lot. It's not a Russian tie. It's basically a lock and block. If you do anything from it, you get a shrug. A Russian tie is singularly just working off the elbow, behind the elbow. 2-on-1 combination. Chad ducking.
Big advantage, of course, that Richmond has here is a big height advantage.
There's a Wisconsin. There's a situation where he's blocking. He's just underhooking and hanging onto the chin under the armpit. You're really not doing much. And that's why I say I like to see wrestling come back to wrestling and get away from all the Olympic flip-flopping ideas that they have. But these kids think...
Chad just ran out of mat. He tackled him out on the free throw line of the basketball court.
Yeah.
I tell you, you got to really admire him. He is just fun to watch, no matter how his matches turn out.
See, this guy just wants that underhook and then work off the trip.
And he's just a sophomore, Larry. We got 2 more seasons of watching Chad in action. That really was something.
Well, again, it gets down to the point, don't quit until you hear the whistle.
There's that overhook there, and nothing much happening. No score.
And as I said before, and we've watched Wisconsin, They win, but they're not exciting to watch. And they do make wrestling dull by their blocking and styles. But they get the job done under the rule system, so you can't fault them.
My guess is that Watkins is going to have more success, Larry, with Richmond on the mat. Now, Richmond, as you said, is just dangerous standing up.
Well, he's so much taller than Chad.
And escape.
So used to working from that position, overhook, underhook, tie. Now there's where his length pays off. He can tie you up and go into a lateral off that hook. There it is. Just what we were saying earlier, that he can put it to you from that combination. And it's just a body press. He's really got a deep throw into that situation. And Richmond shows how dangerous he can be in that combination. He still has the far arm.
3-point near ball.
And again, that's
6-0.
I talked about it.
On the board.
When he had that length and was able to hook that leg in there.
Didn't hold him.
So if you see that on replay, you'll get the idea where he straightens him up and hooks behind the leg and drills him. And that's where the extra range comes. Oh, he's got it. Watch the leg. Right behind the heel. Now, boom. Good night.
Lehigh had a neutral. Should be 6-1. Didn't Lehigh? Oh, no. Who came? I'm sorry. Okay.
6-0 is the score.
All right.
And we've got 43 seconds to go in the second period. 11-5 lead for Wisconsin. Larry, what is the condition of Tommy Togas? And I know people have asked.
Still has that breastbone sternum injury. Still hampering him, still bothering him. So he's still resting. It's the only thing to do, give it the rest. See, there's that single leg on the outside. Now with a crossface.
You can do a lot when you got all that length, and that's just what Richmond uses, particularly with the legs. You can see the way he ties up his opponent.
Hold it.
He put in a high figure 4 over the knee.
Go it over, Wisconsin. Go it over. I didn't see what he had there. You have Japanese like that.
And then he was forcing straight.
I just didn't see it then. Okay, I know what you're saying. I just didn't see it.
Block her out a little bit, Joe. 6-0 is the score.
Block her a little bit. No more.
Nice physique on there's Russ Hellickson talking to his wrestler. Richmond's nice, tall, lanky, powerful physique.
Okay, ready to go again with 14 seconds to go in the second period. A 6-0 lead for Mark Richmond over Chad Watkins.
Take it.
There goes that leg, slipping it in there. Now he puts it in at high. Period ends.
Mark Richmond looking very good, very strong on the mat. Larry, if Richmond is ranked 12th, I'd like to see some of the other 11.
Well,
He is a good wrestler.
They have
good
Togas,
wrestler.
They have Togas ranked 10th. And Belinsky, of course, at Penn State is ranked number 1
Take it.
at this weight class. And Rome of Wilkes, you did see earlier in the year, beat Togas.
He will, Richmond will wrestle Hasselrig of Clarion, who was 4th in this weight class, and
So we'll
their
get an
match
idea.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get an idea right then and there.
Look, for a moment there like he might have maneuvered something, but Richmond turns it right around, picks up 2 more, leads 8-0.
Back in on that left side, working that single, basic tie. It's chin. He hasn't broken that 45.
Not yet. No, not there.
112 1:12 remaining, third period.
Larry, he got to be the biggest 158 I've seen in a long time. He's just a big young man. 1 minute to go, third period. Leading 8-0. Mark Richmond of Wisconsin over Chad Watkins of Lehigh. Wisconsin leading 11-5. Close to a major or more here.
This works on that. That's an illegal hold if I ever saw one. You got the toe bent back underneath.
30 seconds.
I think
Okay.
straightened about.
Three more makes it 11-0.
And that'll be a 12-pointer. So we're into the superior decision.
Come on, Lehigh. You got to work a little harder down there.
In the riding time, we'll make it 12-0 for Mark Richmond. 3 points more, and it'll be 5 going on the board for the superior decision. And the score now is Wisconsin 16 and Lehigh 5. We'll have more wrestling coming up in just a moment. At 1:58, Richmond demolished Chad Watkins by a score of 12-0.